makes a mistake again. He missed a shift. He's going to spin to the inside turn. He's going to take the lead.
Eli Hinton just got used up there in the hairpin. He's going to pick up a win after a long winless streak and visit victory lane. And the whole field just needs to get himself slow down, hop these curves, up and over. There's that cannon with an attack. Great restart here for the 2 car, but also for the 48. He crosses him over, down into turn 1, there goes the tail. Here comes the 20 alongside. The 13 car gets turned. He's going to spin in turn 2.
Hello everyone and welcome to Sim TV. My name is Kyle Heyer alongside Fadina Kuna for tonight's broadcast of the 2019 3-Wide All-Star Race. The first thing up tonight is the last chance qualifier. There's going to be 9 drivers going for 7 spots. 6 spots in the LCQ will transfer to the 100 lap or 125 lap feature, and 1 will begin getting into the race with the fan vote here in just a couple minutes. It's a 50 lap last chance qualifier with 9 drivers. And Finian, last night we saw some pretty wild racing, but all in all relatively clean. What do you think you're going to expect tonight with these guys kind of going for every last spot they can try to get?
Yeah, definitely it's going to be interesting, especially because this is absolutely it. In the heat races, these guys knew that they at least had a second chance, but this is it. This is for all the marbles. If you don't make it in now, you're not going to be making it in at all.
50 laps about to get underway here, and the drivers that you're seeing here were not either here last night or did not make the top 5 in their heat race. We had 3 30-lap heats last night and then a 50-lap feature event to designate the qualifying order for tonight's 125-lap feature. Eventual winner Cameron Rich decided to take the $30 and start at the tail end of the grid, but that means that tonight, this last chance qualifier is your last chance to get into the race. Unfortunately, Chad Frankenfield will not be here tonight. He has had an issue with his eye that will prevent him from racing. So we wish him the best and the quickest recovery as we move forward in tonight's last chance qualifier. Finian, out of this field right now, I'm looking at Corey Lindsay in that 00s and Tanner Sharp in the 3. Those Blurry Motorsports cars I expect to do very, very well tonight.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Those guys look pretty strong, and honestly, and I'm pretty sure both. I'm actually not too sure about Tanner Sharp, but definitely Corey Lindsay was just on the cusp of making it, and I believe finished 6th in his heats. He was the first guy to not make it in, but here he is starting on pole by a pretty significant margin over everyone else. The only driver to qualify under a 13.5 second lap. So definitely he's got some speed here, and looking forward to seeing how that progresses in this race.
Field rolling off right now. We've got 2 pace laps to get through, so you see the starting lineup at the bottom of your screen. I want to preface again that my voice is completely gone after the 6 hours of the Glen weekend I was at Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so I'm going to try to talk a little bit less than I normally do and let Finian kind of lead the way here. Also, we've been having some issues with the graphics package in terms of making my camera selection lag a little bit, so hopefully we don't have that issue like we did last night, but if we're slow coming back from a replay or something, that is why, and hopefully we can manage that well throughout the night. I can already tell it's already going poorly. So as the field rolls out of turn 4, we've got 1 lap till the green here, Finian, and Richard Hines is on the inside lane. Corey Lindsay has chosen the high side for this initial start.
The Dean Peace car is going to be peeling off. 50 laps here, green flag in the air for Corey Lindsay.
Field getting underway as we head down into turn number 1, and Richard Hines slots into 3rd place. Justin Kolb into 2nd. Oh, bounce off the wall. Richard Hines, he gets into the 12 of McCorkle. They're both going to slide at the racetrack, collect the 8 of Richard Lafferty, and they're going to go into the fence. Caution out, lap number 1.
Yeah, and carnage immediately ensuing here.
Yeah, let's take a quick look. I think the 2 car just got in the fence out of turn number 1, or turn number 2 rather, hits the wall, bounces off, and then just gets collected by McCorkle. They spin up the racetrack. Lafferty nowhere to go in his number 8 Camry and ends up in the fence. So a rough start to this one for those 3 drivers.
Yeah, tough break there. I think PJ Payne, I think he might be able to get off with not as much damage, but Richard Hines got into almost everyone there. His car is already torn up and looked like it went through a 100-lap race already.
So we're slow coming back from really probably just want to restart this theme. I wonder if it's just coming to the green flag where it gets laggy, but I'm going to try to restart here, and hopefully that'll solve this issue for the rest of this race. As Corey Lindsay has led the first couple laps, and Justin Kolb has jumped into 2nd place in that number 52. A good start for him. And the two-car Richard Hines, who started on the inside of the front row with damage here early.
Yeah, indeed. And remember, we are going to have a halfway break here at lap number 25. We'll get a halfway break similar to last night to slow the pace of this race down, although I feel like we might see a few more cautions here with guys trying to race in.
So lights are still on the pace car. We got 2 laps till we go back green. So you mentioned the halfway break. Does that make you a little bit more cautious right now if you're midfield? If you're someone like Kyle Hanshaw, is there really any rush to get up to the front? Or are you just trying to slowly claw your way forward and be in position for that caution?
I think definitely try to claw forward if you can. If anything, just try to sit in 6th position because he's only 1 position out. Just has to get around either Richard Lafferty or Austin Derbyshire, one of those 2 guys, and he'll get into the show. So not a whole lot of pressure for the 46 now. Again, that's lap stick off. That's really when the pressure starts to mount.
And correction, that was actually PJ Payne in the 08 car.
Oh, sorry.
And Richard Lafferty, they both have the number 8 on the side of their car, but one's got a tiny little B, which I guess is short track racing, but it doesn't make our jobs any easier. Here as we come to the restart, Corey Lindsay fires off with a great restart and will clear the 52 down into turn number 1. Behind them, that's the 91 of Derbyshire on the outside lane, and then there's Richard Lafferty, McCorkle, 3 wide out of turn 2.
Yeah, 3 already. McCorkle gets in there hot, almost hits Richard Lafferty.
Oh, he did hit him, and he's going to turn him again out of the final corner. And Lafferty spins to the inside, and we'll get slowly rolling again. We stay green, but that was a bit naughty there. As McCorkle pushed him out of the way twice, the caution flies now.
Oh, yeah, and that was Lafferty trying to get out and underway. Looks like he was kind of wedged in the wall, had a reverse and then get up, and I think Lafferty might have been put down. Although the admins, they just said that it was a late call, so they might give him his lap back.
Yeah, I don't quite understand this by McCorkle. I know he's had a frustrating start, but gets down into the corner and just rear ends the 8, and then comes out of the final corner and finishes him off. I don't quite understand that, but Lafferty with the short end of the stick there at the initial start here, working lap number 10 already.
Yeah, I was, I think, a little needlessly aggressive off the 12 car's part.
Well, I mean, I guess the grand scheme of things here, Finney, and you might as well make some enemies now because you may not see this driver for the rest of the night. So if you could get yourself $100 at the end of the night, it doesn't matter who's mad at you. As you see Richard Hines, he's pulled down to pit lane along with PJ Payne, getting his number 8B car repaired and back out on the racetrack.
And PJ Payne trying to beat the pace car out.
That was some Lightning McQueen
Yeah.
duty there.
Wow, he beat the pace car by a nose. That was incredible. So he's going to continue on the lead lap.
I really wish I had my voice in full for such an event like this, short track racing with super lates, but of course, screaming over DPIs for 6 hours to your friends that are sitting right next to you tires your voice out pretty quickly. So we don't have a stream until next weekend. I think the next one we have is are we even off next weekend for 3-wide?
Whoa, ooh, Lafferty is showing his displeasure.
Oh, we got to get a replay of that. I didn't see.
Yeah, under pacing. Corporal is getting, I think, trying to get near the 12 or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that was definitely... I'd say it's justified on Lafferty's part, though.
Yeah, McCorkle was saying his displeasure over the radio. He wasn't too happy with that. So
Well, McCorkle doesn't really have any room to talk right now. He's got to be careful.
So some heat building up between these two. I'm honestly, I kind of hope both of them make it into the show because that'll be very entertaining.
Is Derbyshire running an Oldsmobile?
I believe he might be.
Oh my goodness. All right, out of turn 4, working lap 13 of 50. It'll be lap 14 at the green flag, and fires off again. Kolb with a much better restart that time. Down into turn 1 will be alongside the 00. And those Blurry Motorsports cars, actually all 3 of them, 1, 2, 3, as McCorkle and Derbyshire pass each other for 4th. And then there's Lafferty on the inside of Derbyshire and Hines out of turn 4.
Yeah, these guys trying to get going again. Lafferty did not get his lap back, and Hanshaw also got put a lap down. So 2 cars down on the lead lap, only 7 on the lead lap. So 7 guys racing for 6 spots effectively at the moment.
That's 46 to Hanshaw, down in 9th place at the moment. And trying to get back by the 91 of Derbyshire, but that will not be for position. But Justin Kolb has taken the lead away from Corey Lindsay and beginning to stretch it out.
Yeah, so swap for the lead there. I think Lindsay hit the wall. That might have been
McCorkle in the fence out of turn 2. And got into Kyle Hanshaw just a little bit, but falls behind, or the two of Richard Hines for a moment. Then pulls back in line. But where is the 8 of Lafferty in front of the 12? And that means I think we'll see some peace and quiet for at least a couple laps.
Yeah, hopefully at least a couple laps, especially until we get to that halfway break coming up soon. But meanwhile, 3 Tanner Sharp and the 00 Corey Lindsay, I think they're going to keep it relatively calm.
Oh, no! What happened to the 00? He slowed way down. He's got a problem. Corey Lindsay has got a problem. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if it's hardware related or not, but he just dropped a bunch of spots. Did he get in the wall? Or was that getting into his teammate there that caused that?
I think he got into his teammate there, and I think, or thought he wasn't going to make the move that shoved the 00 out of line. I think Lindsay is good for now, but yeah, that was a bit of a scare there, almost getting to his teammate.
Well, we're closing in on the halfway point of this race, where we will have a caution for, I guess you could call it a stage break. And so he might get a chance to get some fresh tires on that car and try to go forward again. But right now he's under attack from Austin Derbyshire. Battle for second heating up between Tanner Sharp and Richard Lafferty. But this is not position for Lafferty. He's just trying to get his laps back. So Kolb leads this race by about a second as we conclude lap number 24. Then it's Tanner Sharp, Corey Lindsay, Derbyshire, and that's the 46 of Hanshaw, who's down a lap trying to get back by that orange number 91, and he will for now as we conclude lap number 24, and we expect to see the caution here shortly.
Yeah, I think once they start coming around and when he gets back to the strike, they're gonna throw the caution. And how about Justin Kolb coming out of nowhere? He's gonna come across the line, caution's out. And he's going to lead us to the halfway break. It's going to be Tanner Sharp in second, Corey Lindsay in third, Austin Derbyshire fourth, Cody McCorkle in fifth, and Richard Hines rounding out your top 6 at the moment.
Yeah, Justin Kolb has kind of been a dark horse here. I really didn't look at him as a driver that could potentially win this race, but he has done nothing wrong so far. Tanner Sharp is also running well. Really, all the blurry cars are, but Corey Lindsay had that issue with the right front damage, so he's got some work to do. Richard Hines pulls on the pit lane, and he'll receive service. He's got damage on the left and right side of that car.
Yeah, that car all damaged up since lap 1, so he's been dealing with a very damaged car. Richard
Lafferty is going to get his lap back in his number 8. And we'll get reset to go green for the second half of this race. It's only about 5 minutes worth of racing. So top 6 get in. PJ Payne is sitting in the transfer spot. And Cody McCorkle comes down pit lane, now giving up his spot inside the top 6. Remember, 6 transfer 1 with the fan vote will get into the race.
Yeah, indeed. So a total of 7 drivers will be moving on out of the 9 that started. So 2 will be going home, unfortunately, without any chance to continue on. And I'm really curious. So Richard Lafferty getting back on the lead lap. He's going to be in the same lap as McCorkle, and I think things might get a little spicy here.
McCorkle is in pit lane still receiving service. Is he going to go a lap down? It's going to be awful close as the field rolls out of turn 4. McCorkle's still in the pit box. He's definitely going to go a lap down here, Finian.
Oh, yeah, he is.
And he's out of the transfer spot. And he's going to be stuck here behind the field. And he's going to have to battle Kyle Hanshaw and PJ Payne.
I think he thought he can get service to. I think he thought that he can get service to his car on both sides. He had the right sides go up and then the lefts, but green flag back in the air here, coming to lap 31.
Good restart for Justin Kolb. Tanner Sharp moves into second place. Derbyshire gets third away from Corey Lindsay. Then behind Lindsay, it's Richard Hines, and then Lafferty, and then everyone from there on back is a lap down. 20 laps to go at the line, and Corey Lindsay trying to put pressure on the back of this number 91 now.
Yeah, he's trying to slug it out with him, but yeah, big mistake by McCorkle. That's going to put him a lap down, pretty much out of it at the moment.
Oh, Lindsay gets drilled by the 2-car Richard Hines, and Hines got really slow. Here comes Lafferty to try to take the 5th spot away.
Yeah, Lafferty here, and again, that car's in a pretty good shape, all things considered, but here he is with the 12 on his outside.
And I love watching these brake rotors glow, Finney, and these super lates use a lot of brake energy, and man, all the brake rotors in these cars are glowing red hot. As we come this time to 16 to go, and Lafferty's going to get that 5th spot away from Hines, and here comes McCorkle. He's still a lap down, but remember, these two had issues before.
Yeah, I think really McCorkle's only hope is to get a caution at this point in time. He's the first car lap down, so he needs another caution to come out to get himself on the lead lap. Otherwise, he's looking out of this being in 7th place.
No battles for the lead at the moment. It's all Justin Kolb out front. Then it's Tanner Sharp, Derbyshire, Corey Lindsay, Lafferty, your top 5, and then it's Richard Hines all the way back in that yellow and blue car.
Justin Kolb kind of coming out of nowhere. I didn't really expect too much from him. I thought he would have a decent run, but how about this 1.7 second lead here over Tanner Sharp?
And growing at the moment. Battle for 3rd going on right now between Derbyshire and Corey Lindsay. Derbyshire the meat in the blurry sandwich. And Richard Lafferty is closing in on these drivers from behind when 2/10 quicker than both these other guys. He has fresh tires, or fresher tires, than the rest of the guys in front of him. So Lafferty is not only going to get to these guys, he might be able to get by them, but he's got McCorkle behind him, when these guys, again, have had lots of issues. McCorkle's got even fresher tires than the 8. And McCorkle going to go the long way around, and I'm keeping the camera on these two while they negotiate traffic.
Yeah, I guess it seems like they've gotten over each other, at least for now. As Derbyshire is trying to get to the outside of Corey Lindsay, can't get it done. Now here comes Lafferty.
Big net code, the 12 spins with 10 to go. And that wasn't even close. I think it was the 46 of Hanshaw that blinked out for a moment, and there must have been 10 to 15 feet between these cars. Here's another look from up above. That wasn't even close.
Yeah, that was not close at all, jeez.
I guess that's the danger, when your internet isn't working very well. Everyone's got bad internet nights. I do even. But this is why when you're blinking, people generally ask you to get out of the way, because stuff like this can happen. It's rare. You don't usually see blinking cars have this much netcode, but that was exorbitant there. So Hanshaw, unfortunately, actually, he's going to actually benefit from this caution. He'll get his lap back.
Yeah, and so here's the interesting thing. So yeah, McCorkle got the caution he needed, but because he was involved in it, he's not going to be able to get the wave around. And Hanshaw, because he made contact, but he didn't actually make contact with him. I don't think he got charged with an incident for that through iRacing's side of things, and so he got the waiver on. So that's gonna really sting for the 12.
Well, that's awful luck, and that's gonna really stink for the 12, and be a big benefit to the 46 because he can race his way in here. And I wonder what the 12 is going to think about that. Hanshaw going way wide here. So we're going to have about 5 laps to go when we get the restart. Actually make that 4 to go. And it's just going to be all out brawl to the end. So we are running green white checkers tonight, right? Again, the 3?
Yep, 3.
All right. And we'll probably get to experience a couple green white checkers. And Justin Kolb also, I'm curious if he's going to take the bottom or the top. And we're about to find out as the lights go off on the pace car. It looks like he's going to choose the bottom. That could be a risky call. We've seen the top be a pretty good place to be for the restarts.
Yeah, we'll see how these guys sort of. I don't think they'll be too incredibly bad with each other. I think they'll give each other a decent amount of room, but we'll see here as the pacer's going to duck in. And we got 3 laps to go.
Flurry Motorsports, 1, 2, 3. 4 laps to go here at Southern National Motorsports. Parked down into turn 1. Kolb clears the 3 of Tanner Sharp. Lafferty gets around the outside of Corey Lindsay. They're going to be battling for 3rd at the moment. As we come back to 3 to go, Derbyshire slips to 5th. Richard Hines is now in the transfer spot, but he's got Kyle Hanshaw trying to get up to him behind, but he doesn't have the pace. So Richard Hines, as bad as his night started, he could transfer in. And again, just in front of them, Corey Lindsay and Lafferty continuing to fight for 3rd.
Oh yeah, and Lafferty's been pinching Lindsay down. Lindsay slow on the bottom, got loose, and here comes Derbyshire.
Oh, Derbyshire's going to spin, and we're going to get a caution, and we did not quite collect the white flag. So it will be a green-white checker as the 91 gets the short end of the stick that time. And we'll have to do this all over again with the restarts here. So again, because we don't have a way of handling green-white checkers yet within ATVO, you'll notice that it says final lap. We are not on the final lap. The flag status is going to be brought to you where it says caution. That will determine what the situation is right now. We are still under caution, still running laps at the moment. On lap 51 of 50. So we're beyond our scheduled distance, and there is the caution McCorkle needed. He gets his lap back and leaves PJ Payne as the only car 1 lap down.
Yeah, it's also going, unless we get another caution for a green white checkered attempt, that's going to put Payne pretty much out of it. We're going to have 8 guys slugging it out for 6 spots, so this is going to be interesting here.
Still the opportunity for the fan vote to save the 91, the 12, or the 08. And one of them better hope that they have more votes than the other, because the way it's looking, looks like Kyle Hanshaw, who is probably one of the best candidates for the fan vote, is sitting in a transfer spot, though he doesn't have quite as much pace as some other guys out here. And I'd say Derbyshire is looking pretty good to get that spot back. So we're going to regrid the field here. This is the most cars we've had in the lead lap since the first, really, 15 laps.
Yeah.
We're going to re-rack them and restack them, double file again. We'll see if Cole takes the inside. I imagine when you've got three of your cars in the top 4, you got a pretty good command on this race. So I don't really see any way that a blurry car doesn't win this race at the moment. But there is the 1 to green, and Cole chooses the outside lane this time, interestingly enough.
Yeah, we'll see. Do you think we're in for more green white checkered attempts?
Oh, I think so. I think, especially for guys like McCorkle and Derbyshire, they need to pass a car or 2 in McCorkle's case, and we've seen that some of these guys aren't afraid to use the bumpers. And honestly, with the money that's on the line tonight, you're going to want to. Out of turn 4, green flag back in the air, 2 laps to go.
A relatively poor start from Tanner.
Oh, 91 drills! Richard Hines in the 46 is going to get turned, and we're going to get another caution, and we're going to do this all over again. And McCorkle gets turned into the fence. And we're going to have to do this all over again, Finian. And we have 3 attempts at a green-white checker. This will be our 2nd.
Oh, and you know what I think is really happy with? PJ Payne. I think he might get a waiver out here because he didn't get involved in that at all.
Oh, what a mess that was. That was almost half the field involved in that collision. I don't know. Did the 2 and the 91 have issues before?
I don't think they had before, but I think they might have it now.
Yeah, I think so. And McCorkle got a pretty big hit as well into the concrete, so oof is all I can say to that one, Finian. But we're going to do it again. Well over a scheduled distance now.
Yep, and here comes PJ Payne coming around the field, so all of our cars are going to be in the lead lap here. Actually, Richard Hines, he got put a lap down.
Well, he probably had to get his car unstuck out of the concrete, but honestly, with how many cars we have the lead lap now versus what we had about halfway through, we could have made this race about 20 laps. Would have been about the same result. And Corey Lindsay now in 2nd place again after the night he's had. It's been a little bit on the rough side. And that right front damage is evident, but he hasn't really dropped out of the top 5, so he's still in a pretty decent spot. So we're going to wait for those lights to go out. It's going to be another 2 or 3 laps. I don't even know what lap we're on. It doesn't even tell me what lap beyond the scheduled distance.
Yeah, we're currently on lap 59.
So we're already 18% over our scheduled distance.
Yeah, we've gone a long way.
Going to regrid here. I assume that 52 is going to take the outside again. Wouldn't be unheard of, and it looks like he will elect for the outside lane as the lights will shut off on the pace car this time through. The flagman holding that flag straight up in the air, signifying 1 to go. And Richard Lafferty sitting in 4th. Remember, his night started off a bit rough as well, but he's going to be in the outside lane behind a leader for the restart in a good spot to try to advance some more. Cody McCorkle in the transfer spot. PJ Payne sitting in 7th. Hanshaw in 8th. Richard Hines a lap down. His chances essentially over unless we get another caution. Green flag back in the air. It's going to be a race down to turn number 1, and Corey Lindsay trying to take a 2nd spot away from Tanner Sharp. If we get back to the white flag, we won't have any more issues.
Yeah, Dean, here they come, and Lafferty still on the outside of Tanner Sharp.
Hanshaw.
And we're going to get the white flag, so this is going to be the final lap.
Hanshaw got together with the 2 of Richard Hines, but Kolb all out in front. No battle for him, but behind it's Corey Lindsay going to be in 2nd place, just over Richard Lafferty. And some close battles behind. The difference between 3rd and 4th, 38 thousandths of a second. But for Kolb, a job well done. wins the LCQ here in the All-Star race. Well earned for the 52, but Corey Lindsay rebounds nicely for second. Here's a look at your race results. Richard Lafferty comes home in third. PJ Payne is not going to make it. Neither will Kyle Hanshaw, but we're just waiting on the results of the fan vote.
And it is Hanshaw that'll be moving on.
All right, so Kyle Hanshaw finishes 7th, but he is saved by the fan vote and will be competing for the $100 in tonight's 125-lap feature that will be coming up in just a few short minutes. But Cody McCorkle, the last driver in, and the interesting thing, Finny, is Cody and Richard Lafferty, the two drivers that had the run-in, are going to be competing for that money. And if those two are running 1 and 2 in the late stages of the race, I could expect to see some fireworks here at Southern National.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think at this point there's no love lost between them. So I think when if it'll come down to it, I think push will definitely be a shove.
All right, so that's going to do it for the LCQ. We're going to load into the next session and get prepared for the 125-lap feature. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. We'll see you there in just a few minutes. Stay with us.
To most, drop between point A and point B. It's the frustration of traffic at 8 a.m. The feeling of sickness on a long ride. The car? Just a tool. It's supposed to be practical, reliable, and fast. But the speed is really the reason cars exist. Born out of a necessity to make that A to B trip just a little bit faster. Some have a deeper connection with cars. Found somewhere in the bond of man and machine, a desire to be part of something bigger than yourself. It's the extension of mind and body to something more exciting than just another appliance. And these people never cared about practicality or reliability. To them, the only thing that matters is speed. We're born with a competitive nature, part of a biological necessity that has not yet worn off with time. People have raced for thousands of years, and that competition has transcended history and found its way to the industrial age. Railroads raced to build across the country, replacing the horses whose strength is still used as a benchmark for power today. And as personal vehicles became popular, the railroads died off. What once was the quickest way across the country became snail's pace in comparison. The interstate highway system expanded and cars populated every driveway. And the competition between types of transport quickly transitioned into the race to have the fastest car. Bragging rights. Manufacturers like Porsche, Ferrari, and BMW emerged in auto racing, each trying to one-up the other. Building engines became an arms race. Who could build the fastest dinosaur-powered lens? So while the passion for cars has died for most, there are still people that are fascinated by racing. The sights, the sounds, the smell of burning rubber and spent race fuel lingering in the air, this is what attracts us to the sport of auto racing. We are empowered by drivers that climb in impossibly fast cars and put everything on the line for the sake of competition. Drivers who know that one slip-up can lead to disaster. And for the longest time, wishing to be a race car driver was just a childhood dream. All we could ever be was a spectator. Opportunities? Limited and expensive. Reserved only for the who's who of the racing world. Until now.
Welcome back live to SimTV for tonight's running of the 2019 Three-Wide Racing League All-Star Race. I'm Kyle Howard alongside Finney and Dakuna. It's time for the 125-lap feature event. But while we're in warm-up, we're going to talk now with the driver of the number 46, Kyle Hanshaw, who made it into the race with the fan vote. Kyle, I know you probably would have rather raced your way in, but certainly the fan vote. You're a very popular driver out there. What do you have to say about getting voted in to compete in the All-Star race?
Oh, I just got to thank everybody that voted for me. Really appreciate it. Yeah, definitely tried to get up there and battle my way into tonight's main event, but just ran out of laps. Had some fresh tires on her, but just wasn't meant to be. I was one spot short, but we got in anyway, so happy that happened.
Did you learn anything in the last chance qualifier that you can apply to tonight's race? In terms of especially restarts and getting around some of the carnage, because we have over 20 cars in this field and 125 laps. It's not a very long race.
Yeah, definitely. Just try to be smart with every corner that you make. Definitely got to be aware of your surroundings and know who you're racing against. You just got to stay out of trouble tonight. That's the biggest thing. I know guys are going to be eager to use the bumper and get guys out of the way because of impatience, but that's going to happen. Short track tempers.
Speaking of using the bumper, it's a 125 lap race, like I said, so it's broken up into a couple different stages. By what point of the race are you willing to use the bumper, if at all? And would you be angry if someone used the bumper before halfway on you?
No doubt. I think guys are going to get impatient with me, but with everybody else as well. But I'm probably, I don't know, I'd probably use it maybe after halfway. Definitely that's the time to go. But, the laps go by so fast here. So you just got to be smart with every decision you make tonight, and hopefully you'll be there at the end.
It's $100 is on the line, and is $100 enough to make you wreck somebody, or would you restrain yourself and maybe miss out on getting $100?
To be honest, I'm just here to put on a good show for the league and for the broadcast. You guys, just give you guys one hell of a show tonight. So as long as we get some good racing and good action out of it, I'm cool.
All right, Kyle, we're going to let you get ready to go to the grid. Get your fire suit on, go out there and win this thing for us, and good luck out there.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
You too. All right, Finian. A minute and 20 seconds left in warm-up. It's time for their drivers' meeting. So while they're sitting down in the grid, who's your prediction to win this race tonight?
I think, I mean, after seeing pretty much all these guys perform last night, I think my eyes absolutely going to be on the 17 of Cameron Rich. And remember, Cameron Rich won the race last night, took the money, and that's going to mean he's going to be starting from the tail end of the field in 21st. So he's going to have a lot of work to do tonight. But I mean, 125 laps, and especially with two planned cautions breaking up the pacing of this race, I think he's definitely got a good shot at getting back up to the field and winning this thing.
So speaking of the planned cautions, can you just briefly explain, I don't think we've talked yet, about when and why we're breaking up this race and how it's going to kind of go tonight?
Yeah, sure. So race is going to be broken up into three different stages. Stage 1 is going to run from lap 1 to 46. We'll get the restart on lap 50, and then stage 2 will go from lap 51 to 96, and we'll get the restart on lap 100, and then the final stage will be a 25-lap race to the end. And that's just going to get these guys broken up and give us a chance to get everyone bunched back up together and put on some fantastic racing, although I do feel we're going to see a few more cautions than those planned tonight.
I think that's a pretty safe bet there, Fidian. So again, taking a look at the conditions tonight, they've been pretty consistent all through the past couple nights, but 73 in the air, 76 on the racetrack, wind 2 miles an hour to the east. Clear sky, it's a beautiful night for racing, and Three-Wide Racing League All-Star race begins now. The field's going to grid up, and they're going to roll off here shortly, and Fidian, the 17 car rather, is going to start all the way at the tail of the field in 21st place. How long do you think it's going to take him to get back to the front?
Honestly, I think I wouldn't be surprised if he got there by around lap probably 90. I think towards the end of the second stage, I think he'll probably be up into the front. He might get there a lot earlier, and that'll be pretty big surprise to me, but conservative estimate, I think, to the end of stage 2.
All right, so as the field grids up, it's the 14 of Kevin Finn that's going to be sitting on pole here now that the 17 is dropped to the rear. So let's take a look at our starting lineup on the front row. You're going to have the 14 of Kevin Finn alongside the 95 of Josh Adams in that black and white Camaro. And then starting in row number 2, it's going to be Sam Close and Paul Ross. Those 3 OG cars, those Ford Mustangs, those are beautiful looking race cars back there, Finian. And they're going to be starting in row 3 second row and 3rd and 4th. Robert Hill Jr. in 5th, winner from Watkins Glen in the Truck Series. Levi Zielinski in 6th in his number 6. Moving on back to 7th and 8th, Jonathan Cogswell and Nick Miller. Those drivers performed quite well in their own heat races, and they're rolling off now for 2 pace laps. 9th and 10th, Johnny Thomas. The 53 of Dave Hunt. Finney and Nick Miller did not take the grid.
Ooh, interested in that. He's in the servers, so I'm not too sure why he didn't grid.
Chuck Sweeting in 11th, Tate Lytle in 12th. Lytle's the multi-time winner in the Cup Series this year. Louis Salmaso 13th alongside Justin Kolb, our winner from the Last Chance qualifier. He's starting 14th tonight as we get the 1 to green. Corey Lindsay, Richard Lafferty 15th and 16th as we move forward for tonight's race. Pace car rolls through turns 3 and 4 in just a moment here. We're going to turn them loose for 125 laps. And it's the 14 Ford Fusion of Kevin Finn on that front row. Pace car pulls off. Green flag flies, racing in the 2019 3-wide All-Star race.
Yeah, Kevin Finn, a fantastic start. Joshua Adams going to blend into second place. Ross and Sam Close, teammates fighting it out in third place.
61 of Robert Hill Jr. He's looking pretty aggressive here early in fifth place. The 83 getting turned, and it's way in the back there. A big pile up. Corey Lindsay, the 8 of Lafferty, and others all torn up on lap number 1. And not the way they wanted to start this one.
Yeah, it started off small. It was a fairly small wreck, and then everyone just kind of got bunched up together and slowly piled in.
I saw the 83 of Johnny Thomas go around first. Let's go back and take a look at it. Here's a look from up above. Was there contact? Oh, Chuck Sweeting in the 26 turns him around. Lafferty gets in. They get all piled up. Corey Lindsay piles into the mess as well. And to me, I don't think there was really room for Chuck Sweeting to go in there, but he certainly tried. Kyle Hanshaw gets a piece of it, and the 17 of Cameron Rich makes his way through without a scratch. So caution out here on lap number 4. And I think we're going to see a lot of rivalries form tonight that we might not have seen all season. The season has been pretty clean and green this year in the Cup and Truck Series. A couple of cautions here and there, but not a whole lot of rivalries formed yet. But so far tonight, we've already seen the 8 of Lafferty and the 12 of Cody McCorkle angry at each other. And maybe the 26 and the 83 of Johnny Thomas maybe having an issue.
Yeah, we'll see that continues. Although, upon my look at it, it looked like I think Sweeting just didn't realize Thomas is going to come down, and small miscommunication just to clip the nose of the 26. So they went around, but I think no harm will be there. But yeah, we already saw the battle get heated up between the 12 and the 8. No love lost between them. We'll see how that continues throughout the night, although they're kind of separate about a few positions. So I think they'll remain pretty calm there. But looking at Nick Miller, looks like he's not going to join us. And I think that's going to be our first DNF of the night. He has not taken the green at all. Kyle Hanshaw is also 1 lap down at the moment. With
damage to the right front. The 17 of Cameron Rich already up 6 spots to 15th place. What a start. 6 spots in 6 laps. Not a bad way to start this race off as we get the 1 to green. The pace car lights are off. And wow, Johnny Thomas just stays on the lead lap. Chuck Sweeting does go a lap down in his number 26 Camaro. That is a gorgeous livery on that car, by the way.
Yeah, indeed. And he's going to have to try to get that beautiful car back up in the lead lap, although we do have some scheduled cautions planned, so he's got to try to remain the first car lead lap down until then.
Pace car's off, green flag back in the air, and the 14 of Kevin Finn fires off nicely.
Yeah, I see some 3-wide action towards the middle of the field, though, but even in the front there is still side-by-side through 1 and 2.
61 of Robert Hill Jr. looking for 4th on the inside of Paul Ross, but for 2nd place, it's Sam Close in the 3OG car trying to take a look at Josh Adams, but Adams takes the long way around and will complete that pass. Hill Jr. still side by side with the 18 behind him, a big battle. There's the 4 Salmaso On the inside of the 53 of Dave Hunt, and just in front of them, Tate Lytle working the inside of Jonathan Cogswell's 27.
Yeah, Lytle's going to get clear of the 27. Cogswell's going to fall in behind in 8th.
And Cameron Rich up 2 more spots and looking for a third on the inside of LCQ winner Justin Kolb.
Yeah, and Kolb also has got some pretty solid pace waiting for him to move up to the front. Starting 14th, currently up to 12th.
Tanner Sharp in 10th place at the moment. He started in 17th, so he's up 7 as well on the inside of Cogswell. And there's that 17 car flying through the field.
Yeah, this is really, again, he has quite a few laps to work with here, so it's a matter of just being patient, letting the passes come to you. Don't do anything too aggressive here early on.
Robert Hill Jr. has fallen to 7th, and I didn't see how that happened, but he was fighting with Paul Ross, who's still up in 5th place. Meanwhile, the 14, Kevin Finn, he's been booted up out of the groove here, Finney, and last time by was oh, the 6 car gets turned. Zielinski off pace, hits the cone on the inside lane. He's going to back up the field and going to turn the 3 of Tanner Sharp, and the 17 goes wide to miss it. Now Dave Hunt gets out of the way, down to the inside lane to try to miss everything. The whole field gets stacked up. Derbyshire just misses the pit entry, and everyone's all over the place here on lap 15.
Yeah, we still remain green, though, because no one really went sideways. We're going to continue on. That was, I think, good for Cameron Rich, was able to get a few spots through that mess.
Everything's working out in his favor. He's up to 9th place and looking at 8th at the moment, so he continues his climb forward. So the 14 must have gotten rooted up out of the way, because Sam Close and Josh Adams have gotten by, but here comes Tate Lytle now looking for 3rd.
Yeah, Lytle's hungry. I think Finn's just not up to pace compared to some of these guys. Lytle almost hitting the 14 in his quarter panel. That could have been close.
White hot brakes on these cars, and the 56 turns down on corner exit in his Camry.
Yeah, and you can see that he wants that inside lane, but Finn is not giving it to him. We've seen pretty much all the passes come on that inside lane. Here comes Lytle with a look.
He's got it this time. He's going to drift up. Oh, maybe a bit of a scrape there on the door, but Paul Ross looking hungry behind as well. And in the background, you saw Cameron Rich just kind of peeking under Levi Zielinski, and now he gets around the 6 and moves himself forward. And, ooh, Cody McCorkle, Dave Hunt, they almost get together out of turn 2.
Yeah, still looking at that battle between Kevin Finn and Lytle. They're still going at it. Lytle just ikes ahead of the 14.
Finn holding well on the outside. And Paul Ross waiting for this battle to clear so he can get his hat in the ring. He's got some right side damage as the 56 clears the 14.
Yeah, and Finn now trying to cover the 18 off, trying to get in front of him. He's going to get clear of him officially. And now settle into 4th place.
Johnny Thomas
moving up for the lead.
You mentioned Josh Adams, Sam Close. Tight battle, 0.2 of a second, and Sam Close has been quicker the last several laps.
Yeah, it's really caught up to the 95. Let's see what Josh Adams can do.
Josh Adams was a late entrant to the 3-Wide Cup Series this year, has had a lot of success so far. Sam Close has been here for a while, and has also had a lot of success this year and looking for more as he is on the bumper of that number 95. Behind for 4th place, Paul Ross gets around Kevin Finn. Finn tries to fight back. I think he's burned his tires off. Cameron Rich, meanwhile, it's got up to Salmaso looking for 7th. So you said he'd be up into the lead by lap 90? Well, I think he might be even a little bit quicker than that.
Yeah, indeed. No, definitely is putting my statement, making it wrong. Although he's fighting some much bigger competition here as he's getting to the front. I think the passes are coming at a slow rate, but definitely agree with you that he's going to make that pass, get up to the lead before 90.
And just kind of get into a rhythm here a little bit, Finney. You just got to kind of get your pace set. This is almost kind of like a Bristol, I would say. It's you got to get your new rhythm and just kind of get into the accelerating and braking and just hitting your marks consistently lap after lap. The laps come quickly, and you see Cameron Rich dive to the inside of the 4, and he'll take that pass in one fell swoop. Ooh, the 61 of Robert Hill Jr. all off out of shape, and Squirrely it almost tags. He does hit the 17, and now the 4 crosses him over.
Yeah, Robert Hill getting snaked past. Ooh, Salmaso makes some contact with the 61. And here comes Zielinski trying to take a spot.
So that Canada-sponsored number 61 slides backward several spots in just a couple laps. Has moved the 17 up into 6th spot, and Kevin Finn up into 5th. Zielinski loose out of turn 2.
Ooh, and actually into the wall as well. But they continue on and settling in here for a nice green flag run.
So far, we've had a caution up to for a total of 5 laps. We've had 1 lead change, and that's to put the 95 up in the top spot. But that 5-car Sam Close is like a little mosquito in his ear. He's closing back in and probably pestering that 95 driver.
We got about 13 or so laps until that first stage, until this first stage is going to come to a close here. Ooh, and in front of the leaders, Derbyshire very loose, almost wrecks the leaders, and he's going to get out of the way.
Oh, he's going to get very far out of the way and let those front 2 by. Whoa! Tate Lytle swerves to miss him. Meanwhile, for 5th place, or for 4th rather, or actually make that 5th, Cameron Rich just got around Kevin Finn, sets his sights on Paul Ross. And for 9th, Robert Hill continues his drop backwards. Justin Cole, the LCQ winner, on his rear bumper. Oh, and happy Canada Day. I forgot. That's why Robert Hill's running that paint scheme. Canada Day. He's got that car full of maple leaves. Big stack up behind Tanner Sharp. That's Jonathan Cogswell. Well, actually, that's the 46th Hanshaw. That's right behind the 3. Hanshaw still a lap down. Derbyshire is the one in the free pass position right now, but sandwiched between 4th place Paul Ross and 5th place Cameron Rich.
Ooh, for the lead, Sam Close dives to the inside of 95.
And Adams going to fight back on the outside lane. And with a run out of turn 2, he's going to hang on to it, but just barely. The 5's going to continue fighting on the inside lane.
Yeah, meanwhile, behind them, Tate Lytle has caught up to them, so it's a 3-way battle for the lead.
Caution.
Ooh, a spin in turn 1.
Johnny Thomas, again. And his Buick has been in the wall once already. Off the bumper of Kyle Hanshaw. And he'll pull off the racetrack and get back rolling, albeit a lap down. Let's see how this started. It was the 12 of Cody McCorkle that was behind him. Oh, the 8 of Lafferty gets all out of shape. Goes around the outside. And ooh, the 8 checks up, and the 12 couldn't avoid the 83 once he stopped.
Yeah, that just sent the 83 spinning sideways. And nothing he can do there, but Thomas does go a lap down.
Pretty heavy hit to that left side. So the 83 has been getting run over a bit today. And he's going to be a lap down and not in a free pass position. He's got to battle Chuck Sweeting and Kyle Hanshaw for that spot.
Yeah.
Got some takers on pit lane. Robert Hill Jr. is one of them.
And actually, speaking of the free pass, Hanshaw is going to get it this time by, so he'll be back on the lead lap.
All right, I need to get a drink of water for my throat, and we'll be right back in just a second, Finian. Hold on. Okay, there we go. I'm all set, Finian. We're back live here. Thank you for dealing with my throat tonight. Just need to lubricate up a little bit.
Yeah, while you were gone, so Corey Lindsay came down to get service to his car. Got a 4-tire stop. Buddy goes a lap down. So he's going to be back in 17th. Joining Chuck Sweeting and Johnny Thomas as the other guys a lap down. Austin Derbyshire, meanwhile, is 5 laps down. I think he might have called it a day on DTS.
Yeah, he was really struggling earlier and found himself in a bad spot. So we get the 1 to green. And the 95 of Josh M is going to choose the inside lane for the restart. Sam Close on the outside, who was launching a fight on the 95 when that caution came out. The 17 and Cameron Rich all in this first stage. Actually, talking about the first stage, we should be coming to the end of it here shortly.
Yeah, indeed, on a few laps. We'll see what they do here. Here they come. Green flag back in the area as Joshua Adams leads them down. Sam Close on the outside.
Lytle on the inside now, trying to get second away, but the 5 fighting back on the outside. Can he take the run to the outside of the 95? Looks like he will be able to as we complete lap number 45. The stage is going to end very shortly. There it is. Caution. And I think Adams held on.
Yep, and indeed he has. So great job by Adams. Close is going to pretty much finish second. I think most of the field's pretty much going to be where they were.
So caution out again. This will be the, I believe, the third time tonight. We've had 12 caution laps. This one a planned and scheduled yellow. And so far, the 95s look pretty quick. I think that 5 car, Sam Close, is just a touch quicker, though. So if you're sitting behind your Tate Lytle, Finian, I'd be more worried about that 5 running away than catching the 95 at this moment.
Yeah, but actually, if I was Lytle, I would worry about the 2 cars behind you, and that's the 17 of Cameron Rich. He's currently up into 5th place. Great move, movement by the 17 from 21st all the way up into 5th so far.
Some takers on pit lane. Kevin Finn, one of them, the 27 of Cogswell, Richard Lafferty, the 12 of McCorkle, and the 46 of Hanshaw. And you can't even take 4 tires all in one go. You got to take 2 tires at a time. You see McCorkle and Lafferty firing off, as is Hanshaw. And Cogswell still sitting in his box, and he may go a lap down, and he will. And so will Kevin Finn.
Yeah, Kevin Finn, and I think Kyle Hanshaw. Oh, he actually beat the pace car out? Wow.
It was close.
That was even closer than we saw before.
Yeah, you can't take 4 tires all in one go without going a lap down, even under caution. So you have to really do right sides, then come back for lefts, or vice versa. In order to get 4 fresh tires on. And tires do matter. They will make your lap times quicker. We saw that in the LCQ. But at what cost for track position as well?
Yeah, really, it's going to be pretty much that fine balance of figuring out what to do. Honestly, if I were these guys, I would just come down for right sides only.
It's really what you're wearing out. But these cars are so fast that they really do wear out the tires quite a bit. This racetrack is also pretty wide. But there's a lot of marbles in those outer grooves. You can even see them from up here, looking down from the blimp. So, got to be careful not to get yourself into trouble up there. But on lap number 51, you get the 1 to green. There'll be a restart on lap number 52, going to our next stage break, which will be when, Finian?
Next stage break is scheduled to come out on lap 96.
All right, so we got about a 45 lap run to the next stage break, and it's going to be Josh Adams and Sam Close on the front row. Oh, we got to get the caution extended there, or did I just see something wrong?
I didn't see it got extended. Oh, I guess they just doubled up for no reason.
I see. All right, well, I thought my thing went 1 to green and then went back to yellow, so I could have sworn, unless I wasn't looking right, but doubled up again. 95 chooses the inside lane, Close chooses the out, or, well, he didn't get choice, but he'll go to the outside lane. Lytle and Ross behind, so the teammates are lined up in the outside groove as there's the green flag, and the 95 gets a good jump.
Yeah, indeed he does, and so does the 5. Sam Close is going to look to the outside, but we haven't seen really much success out there. Here comes Lytle for second place.
Big battle in the rear of the field here as the 61. Gerard Hill Jr. is trying to get to the inside of Justin Culp. Can't do it for second, though. Tate Lytle steals it away from Sam Close, and he might actually be able to clear him, and he does.
So Lytle now going to have a shot at Josh Adams. You can see some wicked pace here. He comes down to the inside already, immediately trying to fight for the lead.
Oh, I hear spinning behind him. And it's a big stack up the 12 of McCorkle in the middle of it, and down in turn number 1.
Whoa. It is a traffic jam.
About 5 or 6 cars down there, and caution out again for the 4th. Ooh, and they're still wrecking. And they're tangled on the back straight. And they're going to go a lap down in the process.
Yeah, and looking back, I think you're going to want to look at the 52. Look like it started with him.
Okay, here's a look. 52 on the outside lane. What happens to him here? Does he... Oh, he tries to cross over in front of the 3, turns down, and collects the rest of the drivers. Tanner Sharp, there's teammates involved there. The 12 of McCorkle just a victim in this one. Here's a look for a different angle. And, ooh, the 61 took a huge hit. He's probably done for the night.
Yeah, that was a nose-on collision into the outside wall. And no safer barrier, so that was a full-on impact into the concrete.
Jonathan Cogswell was able to get stopped. The 53 didn't have a lot of damage until he pulls away, and he gets tangled with the 52, and they spin and crash again to the inside lane.
Yeah, they made contact getting up to speed. A lot of wheel spin when you just put the power down on these things, so I think got a little bit loose, made some contact again after the incident. So a lot of damaged cars after that.
So Derbyshire recorded as out. Johnny Thomas is 2 laps down. And it's Cogswell and Kevin Finn that are also a lap down. Robert Hill Jr. is on the lead lap. I can't imagine that car is going to drive very good with the way it looks. Corey Lindsay dropping to the tail of the field here. I'm assuming there's some sort of penalty involved or something. It'll lose him all that track position. Up front, though, it's Tate Lytle in the lead. Josh Adams falls to second as we get the one to green.
And get ready for another restart here after that caution. How about Lytle out of nowhere just immediately passing two cars, moving himself up into first, but watch 17 Cameron Rich up into third place.
Yeah, that is insane. 21st to third in 60 laps at a short track. And he's going to continue to climb. Green flag back in the air, lap number 61, closing in on the halfway point of this race. Oh, the 5 gets turned in front of the field, and it's going to be a big stack up potentially. There it is. And another traffic jam. The 61 of Robert Hill gets turned across the field. And we're back under yellow with the 14 and 5 tangled at the exit of 2. Wow. We knew this was going to be messy, Finian, but again, another big accident, this time involving the 5 of Sam Close. And the same way that the last wreck started as well.
Yeah, it looked like Sam Close was paying attention to the 95 of Adams, was trying to go to the inside of him. I think either forgot or didn't realize that Zelensky was on the inside of him and got turned off the 6 and around he went. And
got reports that the steering box for the for the 91 of Austin Derbyshire, the real one, is fried on that car, so that'll be the end of the 91's night.
Oh, that's unfortunate for him.
I bet he wishes it was the virtual steering box that went. But Tate Lytle retains the lead. Cameron Rich up to second. And that 17 car has got to be the favorite to win. I don't think there's any way that you could pull him off your fantasy roster at this point.
And how about that? If he wins tonight, that means that he's between last night and tonight, he's going to have won $130.
Well, and that's the maximum he could have won in this format. And he bravely accepted the 30, went to the tail of the field. I know, Finian, if I were driving, I probably would have just taken the 30 and started on pole. But I don't know. I mean, you said last night that you probably just start from the rear?
Yeah, for me, I mean, if you won the race, there's a definite chance for money right there. Go to the back and then, hope for the best in the main one. And I think he felt definitely really confident in his ability to get to the front, and here he is on lap 66, coming to 67. He's on the outside row here, one position away from first.
All right, it's going to be hard for Lytle to hang on with the 17 hard charging as the pace cars are going to roll through 3 and 4, peel off again. We're past the halfway point of this race. Our next caution is scheduled in 30 laps. There'll be a 25-lap run to the end from there. Green flag back in the air in the starter's hand, and the 56 takes off, trying to keep that 17 behind him.
Yep, and he's going to try to do a good job there. He's going to clear him. Here comes Joshua Adams to the inside of Cameron Rich. Zelensky also trying to follow through.
"17 getting eaten alive in an outside lane caution. And it's at the rear of the field again. Justin Kolb, I think, was involved. Yes, and Paul Ross in the 18 also around. Oh, the 53 Dave Hunt got into the 52, and the 18 just kind of got clobbered in there. So 3OG, they were doing quite well before, and now they're caught up in back-to-back collisions.
Yeah, that's the worst. I mean, getting involved in a wreck with your teammate.
Caution out again. And this time it looks like it'll be our 6th caution. We've had 28 caution laps and 70 laps total tonight. 2 lead changes as Lytle retains it, and Cameron Rich was shuffled back to 4th. So really not as good on the outside lane as I maybe expected.
Yeah, I definitely think that inside lane is the lane to be. If you're on the outside, you're pretty much at a disadvantage. You got to just hope for the best and try to find yourself back in line.
Free pass for the 27 of Jonathan Cogswell. He'll get his lap back, meaning there's only 3 drivers, 1 lap down. That'll be Sam Close, Johnny Thomas, and Kevin Finn. 1 driver retired from this race, Austin Derbyshire, and 1 that did not start. That's the 9 of Nick Miller.
And I'm kind of amazed that it's those three drivers that are a lap down. All three of them have a pretty good cars. They're all pretty clean, and B, they're all really fast. So it's unfortunate for them to be a lap down. Although at the pace we're going, they should get enough cautions to get the wave around for them. So we'll see what they can do.
Take a look at our conditions. The air temp is still 72, track temp 75, so it's raised a little bit. How about the racetrack rubbering in? You see that line darkening and the marbles building up on the outside lane. Maybe that's what caused the 17 to slip back. There's just not a whole lot of grip out there right now.
Yeah, especially when everyone's been pretty much sticking to those inside 2 lanes. You can't really go much higher than that. So you're pretty much stuck going for 1 lane, and if you're not in it, you're going to be going to the back. So Cameron is going to have to find some other way around these guys, especially he's pretty much facing the cream of the crop.
Lights are off on the pace car. We'll try this again. Restart up for lap number 74. It'll be the 56, the 95, 6, 17, 4. Your top 5. And pace car pulls in, and green flag back in the air.
Yeah, Blatto with a fantastic start. Zelensky trying to get clear, and Cameron Rich cuts off for Luis Almaso to get himself to the inside line. Here he comes looking to the inside of Joshua Adams.
Looking midfield as well. Some battles going on, some pushing and shoving. I think we're going to be good for at least a couple laps now as we head back up. Oh, the 6-car bobbles. The 17 somehow misses him. That could have been a big, big disaster for the 17 at Cameron Rich.
Yeah, but he got uprooted out of the line, and there goes Luis Almaso to the inside, and here comes Tanner Sharp also in behind the 4.
Ooh, the 8 gets shuffled out to the outside lane. That's the 8 of Lafferty. Going to check up the outside groove. The 17 fighting hard with Salmaso, and there's the 3 of Tanner Sharp. He's trying to get his spots back.
And he's being aggressive with Cameron Ridge, not giving him any room. And here comes Kyle Hanshaw. How about him? We saw him.
Oh, the 4 gets turned right in front of the 17 of Cameron Rich, and somehow we don't pack up the entire field as we have a big checkup. And the 4 will lose a couple spots in the process, but that could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, great save by him.
Let's take a look. It was off the bumper of the 3 of Tanner Sharp.
Yeah, a little bit of netcode involved with them, but again, some also doing a great job locking the car down and just keeping out of it, and also everyone else doing a great job avoiding.
And great job on Richard Lafferty's part not to rear end the 17. He was heads up driving there as well. We're going to take a quick break here before we head back to the restart, and we'll be closing in on our final stage. We'll be right back. Welcome back to SimTV, and Tate Lytle leads. And we're well past the halfway point at this point. We're about 15 to 20 laps away from that final stage caution. As we saw Cameron Rich come to pit lane, he'll stay on the lead lap, but that's a really interesting call.
And I think I know exactly what he's thinking. I think he figured now's the perfect time to come down and get servers. I don't think we're going to see him come down when that stage caution comes out. I think he's going to stay out on trying to get positions from the people that came into the pits.
It's a really risky call, I think, because if you see everyone else pit, I mean, it's going to be enough laps where I think the tires will be an advantage later, so we'll see how it pans out. But Cameron Rich taking a gamble, and he'll restart back in, I believe, 14th position. But Tate Lytle, Josh Adams, Levi Zielinski, Tanner Sharp, Kyle Hanshaw, your top 5. Of course, Kyle Hanshaw made it in on the fan vote tonight, and he's making good on his fans' behalf as we roll out of turn 4. 56 takes off, green flag back in the air.
Yeah, and a great start for Lytle. Adams trying to clear himself to the inside. Here comes Levi Zielinski also trying to fight.
Oh,
back.
the 3 gets turned.
Contact behind.
And a big wreck potentially as they somehow get it gathered up. Mostly, no. The 95 gets turned and the 27 right across in front of the field as the caution continues. And Cameron Rich was able to gain a bunch of spots in that, but the driver that's dominated most of the race so far with damage on his nose. This was 2 wrecks in 1. Let's look up the 6 and the 95 get together. way up at the front of the field after the caution had already been happening behind him. What a mess that was.
Yeah, I mean, that's really everyone just trying to get low down in time before that corner just getting stacked up in there.
I think Luis Almaso, I think he Alt F4 to try not to be I can't imagine that was out of frustration. Maybe it was just to not cause a wreck, but, you know, at the grand scheme of things, he wasn't really at fault for that in any stretch of the imagination. But, you know, who really benefited from that was Cameron Rich. He'll be in 12th. He gained a bunch of spots, and he didn't really have to use those tires at all.
Yeah, especially imagine quite a few guys might come down pit road just to buff out some dents to their car.
Lafferty, McCorkle, and a couple others. I see Johnny Thomas in here. Robert Hill Jr. is back on pit lane. I thought Robert Hill Jr. would be totaled, and his car somehow still running and also competitive.
Yeah, he's done a great job keeping back in things, so good job of the 61 to keep soldiering on.
So we're about 10 laps away right now from our final stage break, and then it'll be a 25-lap run to the end. And so far, Tate Lytle has been the most consistent driver up at the front of the field, but Kyle Hanshaw up to third.
Yeah, Dean, how about also just looking at our top drivers? Lytle started in 12th, up into first. Hanshaw started in 20th, he's up into third. And Corey Lindsey started in 15th, all the way up into fourth.
Wow. All right, 1 to green. It'll be a pretty short run to our next yellow flag, our planned yellow flag, at lap number 96. This is the highest up Levi Zielinski's been all night. We'll see what he can do in that number 6 car. Green flag in hand of the starter, and we're back underway.
Yeah, 7 laps to go until the stage break, and here comes Zielinski, gonna slot himself just in front of Hanshaw, makes contact with the 56, and here comes Hanshaw to the inside.
Hanshaw going for second place. A bit of a net code there with the 6. He's going to push him up the racetrack, and he'll take away second place. He actually missed qualifying in on speed in the LCQ, but drives up to second in the All-Star race. He's going to have an opportunity to win this thing. Behind him, battle for fourth, Corey Lindsey, Paul Ross, and Tanner Sharp. As the field stacks up down into turn 1, Cogswell, Dave Hunt. Oh, Cogswell gets off the bumper of the 26. Tries to collect it, he does. Cameron Rich to the inside. Oh boy! And he turns the 27. No caution, we stay green.
Yeah, Lafferty was able to, Cogswell was able to somewhat save it. He's going to keep it going straight, no caution. Lytle's still leading this thing.
That was an opportunistic move by the 17, but, you know, he's got places to be. And he made that evident. He's working now on the 8th place driver, Chuck Sweeting.
And, he's in behind Dave Hunt. Does he make it 3 wide going in here? No, he's going to stay in behind Dave Hunt. He's going to try to go to the inside of Chuck Sweeting.
That incident was definitely unintentional. It was definitely a Hail Mary. But I don't think we'll see similar moves like that for at least until the end of the race. Behind him, a big stack up. That's the 14 of Kevin Finn, I see. He's laps down, but fighting the 95 of Josh Adams. This is for the free pass, and this is going to be a race within the race as we come to 1 to go for our stage caution. 14, Kevin Finn. 95, Josh Adams. Who's going to get the free pass in this whole deal? Adams gets ahead for a moment. Out of turn 4, caution waves. It'll be Josh Adams getting the free pass. Wow.
Yeah, how about that? What a fight there for getting the free pass. Well done by the 95 of Josh Adams to get himself back in this.
This is a planned caution for the final stage. Go ahead, Finian.
Yeah, no, and Lytle's going to lead us down. How about Kyle Hanshaw there, showing that he's not giving up. He's showing just because he got into the fan vote doesn't mean he's slow. Defending off the 6 and trying to attack the 56. Has done a great job tonight so far.
Without the fan vote, he wouldn't have even been in this race, but he is showing his strength here tonight. And some takers for pit road, potentially. I saw the 26 looking at it. He's going to come down. So Chuck Sweeting, very lonely feeling at the moment. I see Johnny Thomas coming back in, but he's been coming in all night. I thought we'd see more on pit lane here.
I think people might be calling it done on pit road for now. I think guys might be satisfied with the way their car is handling. And Cameron Rich all the way up into 7th. And actually, so remember what I said about him taking the lead has still not led a lap so far. And we're almost to lap 100, although he did get mighty close.
So everyone is pit at least once, with the exception of Tanner Sharp, Levi Zielinski, and Tate Lytle. And everyone else has come to pit road at least once, and Johnny Thomas has been to pit road 9 times trying to get that car repaired. So Lytle, I think, has been the most consistent at the front of the field. Little Cameron Rich is back up into 7th, but he's got some work to do. He's only got 25 laps, or we'll only have 25 laps left when we take the green flag, and he hasn't gotten to the lead yet. He got close, but got shuffled back on an outside on the restart.
Yeah, it really has not been able to recover since, especially after pitting, but here he is now pretty much just looking to the front, although he's starting to run out of laps. We only got 25. That's a very short amount of time.
So field rolling out of turn 4. We should get the 1 to green this time or next. It will be this time. 25 laps for the 3-wide All-Star race in 2019. $100 to the winner. Tate Lytle is in that spot right now. Kyle Hanshaw in on the fan vote. He wants in on it. Levi Zielinski, Paul Ross, Tanner Sharp, Corey Lindsay, Cameron Rich, Sam Close, Dave Hunt, Robert Hill Jr., your top 10. $100 on the line, 25 laps to go. Green flag back in the air.
And there goes Lytle to the inside. Hanshaw trying to find his way in. Zielinski muscling his way on through.
Nice. Oh, here's a big stack up. Corey Lindsay, the 5 of Sam Close, gets hit. 3 wide on a turn 4. The 61 going to get sandwiched between the 53 and 00. He gets out of that somehow. With the 00 going backwards quickly. 3 wide again behind him. That's the 95 of Josh Adams, who's back on the lead lap in the middle of McCorkle and Kevin Finn.
Yeah, meanwhile, Cameron Rich muscles his way around the 3 of Tanner Sharp.
Oh, he gets turned!
He makes contact with Cameron
How did he
Rich.
save that car as Tanner Sharp gets turned in front of the field? Oh, and he gets drilled by the 14 of Kevin Finn. How did the 17 not crash there? And Tanner Sharp's night just took a severe hit. Here's a look. There's a 17 to his inside. And then Cameron Rich clears him. Sharp goes for the dive underneath, gets into the quarter panel, gets checked up. Sam Close goes to the bottom, turns the 3. Then the 3 gets finished off by Dave Hunt. And then Kevin Finn had nowhere to go and slams the 3 in the front end.
Was running well is going to be put all the way in the back for now.
All right, so we're going to be finishing up here in just a couple minutes here, Finian. Looking at the timing, it'll be about 4 minutes when we come back green. And that's not a lot of time, but Cameron Rich is 5th. I'm still looking at Tate Lytle. He's in a position of strength right now. With the way the cautions are falling so quickly, it's going to be hard for anyone to launch an attack on him.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job just covering his bases, pretty much doing what Cameron Rich did, just get a good restart and let the rest of the ducks fall in line.
Is that how they say it? Isn't it ducks in a row?
That's not how they say it, but that's what we're going with right now.
Ducks in a row, ducks in a line.
Close enough.
It's like column versus row. Ducks in a column. All right, 18 to go in this 125 lap race. It's been a wild one so far. Lots of yellows in this evening's race. And 10 to be exact, 51 caution laps out of 108 laps so far. So almost half of our laps have been under yellow. We've only had 2 lead changes. It's been Tate Lytle and the 95 of Josh Adams in control most of the night. There's the 1 to green. It'll be a 16-lap shootout to the end, and we will have 3 green-white checkered attempts.
Yeah, and laps are winding down now, and I think we're going to see the desperation really crank up here. I'm curious what Levi Zielinski's going to do here to get himself to the front.
When you dangle a $100 bill in the faces of drivers, they will do anything they can to win it. 16 to go. Tate Lytle takes off.
Yeah, and there he goes, and here comes Hanshaw down to the inside of Zielinski. Cameron Rich sitting in behind the 46.
A big bobble by Hanshaw. Checked up the 17. Meanwhile, in mid-pack, there was some fighting going on, 2 and 3 wide for a moment, but we've got it all sorted out. Cameron Rich putting pressure on the back of Hanshaw now. Hanshaw slow on the bottom. Cameron Rich getting impatient behind. 15 to go. The 18 and 17 get together.
Yeah, now here comes the 18 of Paul Ross trying to put
Oh, he turns him!
Oh,
And they spin!
Two-car spun.
And the 17 gets spun up the racetrack, and everyone scrambles to miss him. And Cody McCorkle goes around as well. And that was never going to work. Caution out for the 11th time tonight. And Cameron Rich, the winner of last night's qualifying race, gets down into the corner. And I think The 18 of Paul Ross is responsible for this one. And took a dive underneath. And gets into the back of both the 17 and the 46. Just too many cars all braking, you know, running really too close together nose to tail. It's always going to result in that collision. Sam Close got a piece of it. McCorkle gets turned by Kolb and Tanner Sharp in the back. And Kevin Finn just comes to a stop. So we're going to have about a 10-lap shootout now. I don't think we're done yet, Finian.
I don't think we are. I think Tate Lytle, I think he wants it to be done because he's in the lead. He won this race last year, took the money home. And I think he's going to try to make it 2 in a row here tonight. He's only got to hold on for about 10 more laps.
He doesn't have a scratch on that car. And it tells you why he was last year's winner. He's the defending race winner. And potentially could win again tonight. He's in a position of strength, like I said. I mean, it's going to be hard to defeat him when he's getting the restart jumps.
Yeah, although I will say that car is really clean for now. Part of me feels like that bumper, rear bumper, might not last to the end of this race.
The only driver that can take it away from him in his own lane is Paul Ross in the 18, and we just saw him get in the back of the 17, so we know he's hungry and trying to go forward as quick as he can. It's going to be an 8-lap shootout in green flag conditions. That's about 2 minutes worth of racing.
Yeah, we do again have 3 green-white checkered attempts should we need it, and part of me feels like we're going to need it.
All right. Gridded up, double file again. Tate Lytle, Levi Zielinski, Paul Ross, Sam Close. Robert Hill Jr. has found his way back inside the top 5. Dave Hunt is in the top 6. Corey Lindsay is back in 7th. Hanshaw still in 8th. Field rolls out of turn 4. Caution extended in a lap here just to regrid things.
I think Kevin Finn needed a waiver on that he didn't get.
Ah, yes, he had the free pass and for some reason was not awarded it. Kevin Rich down in pit lane.
So Kevin Finn's going to go rocketing by the field. So that's 1 lap left we have.
And it'll be a 7-lap shootout now. We'll try it again. Out of turn 4. Tate Lytle in control. Fires off. Green flag back in the air. The final 7 laps of the 2019 3-Wide All-Star race.
Yeah, it's all on the line now. Levi Zielinski sorts himself out in the second place. Paul Ross trying to get third from Sam Close.
On the inside lane of his teammate, he's going to get the spot. Close bounces off the fence. 6 to go.
Yeah, and now looks like, how about that 61?
Oh,
Robert
spin!
Jr. moves himself into 4th, caution out.
Kyle Hanshaw's involved. I think, oh, and it blinked out for a moment, but he's back. Let's take a look at what caused this incident. He was battling Corey Lindsay in the 00. Was there contact? Oh, he disappeared for a moment, and it was netcode again off the 00. He's had to drive that car like there's a 10-foot bubble around it.
Yeah, I think that at a short track, that's probably the worst thing to do because it's pretty much no room to begin with. And oh man, we are running out of laps.
This is going to be, I believe it's going to count as, is this going to be a green-white checkered? It's going to restart with probably 2 to go, so I would imagine it would be. And remember our graphics package, not yet, the new one will, but this does not account for the green-white checkers. We have no way of knowing how many laps are being run at the moment. So as soon as we go to green-white checkered mode, just ignore the text underneath the flag indicator.
I think we're going to have 1 to go.
Yeah, so it's going to be a green-white checkered. So ignore that text. Once we get that, once it says checkered, we're not done yet. Just pay attention to the flags. You'll get the white on the last lap. So you're right, Finian. We are going to get the 1 to green on what would be our white flag lap if we were not running green-white
Oh,
checkered.
no, actually the session just extended it, so we will get a green-white checker.
Right, this will be considered a green-white checkered. And one of our 3 attempts that we have tonight. Pace car lights are going to extinguish. The amber dies. And now the 56 and 6 line up on the front row. 2 laps, so extended one more lap here. Trying to get some cars sorted correctly.
I don't think it was. Pace car light's still out.
The lights shut off and then they came back on and shut back off. Or is it still pulling off? Okay. I guess my indicator was wrong. But green flag back in the air. 2 to go.
Oh, and here comes Linsky. Got a great start. He goes to the outside of Tate Lytle.
Not going to be able to hold it here, though. Not going to be able to hold it. Coming back to... Oh, he gets turned, or he almost gets turned. White flag in the air for the leader, Tate Lytle. We're going to just get to the line as the 83 crashes in the background.
Oh, Linsky's got one more shot here. He's caught up to the 56. What does he do?
He's going to drive in deep, but it won't be deep enough. Tate Lytle, for 2 years in a row, will win the All-Star race in the 3-Wide Racing League. Wow.
Yeah, what a good finish for him. Great job for Tate Lytle.
And he dominated the last half of that race.
Yeah, did a great job early on getting himself in position, and pretty much since he was in first has never looked back after.
And all the cautions help contribute to that. When you have control of the restarts, it certainly helps. And burnouts for that number 56 Camry. It always feels good to win $100.
It's a great burnout too.
It may not be $1 million, but I'm sure it feels like it for the 56. He's gonna sling around the outside lane, and he's gonna try to drift here and be moderately successful at it. I guess stick to your day job, I suppose.
Oh boy.
All right, here's a look at your race results. Lytle, Zielinski, Ross, Sam Close, Robert Hill Jr. How about Ross and Sam Close? Both had their issues tonight, but rebounded for top 5s. Dave Hunt, Lafferty finishing 6th and 7th. Corey Lindsay, Chuck Sweeting also getting top 10s out of that. Of course, disappointment for Cameron Rich after winning the $30 last night. Took home 17th. Not the race he wanted. What a race, Finian.
Yeah, indeed, what a race. Quite a few cautions, but that did not stop the action. There was a whole lot of action, a whole lot of passing, and a lot of aggression from these guys, but I think, at that point, what do you expect when you put money on the line?
Money on the line, and the 56 driver, Tate Lytle, is $100 richer. We'll talk to him and several others in just a moment. Stay with us for interviews. We'll be right back. Welcome back live to SimTV, and it's the coverage of the 2019 3-Wide Racing All-Star Race. We're now talking with third place finisher Paul Ross, driving the number 18 3OG Racing Mustang. Paul, tonight's race, a pretty good one for you, and you came home on the podium. I know you're upset you didn't get the 100, but still a good result for you and teammate Sam Close in fourth.
Yeah, it was an interesting night. Compared to last night, you could not run the top at all last night. And tonight you could kind of make it work. And then I ended up getting a little bit of damage, pit twice to replace all 4 tires. Started in the back, ended up getting a little bit more damage. But the tire difference, you were actually able to pass people up top if you had fresh tires. So we slowly worked our way back up through the field, and netcode has just been crazy. I don't know if it's just these cars or if it's the last update they did or what, but there was a couple times where there was guys with like 3 feet in between them and they were still getting netcoded. So hopefully they can get that figured out. But all in all, it was a fun night, running up front, going to the back, coming back up front. That last or that green white checkered, I was hoping Levi was going to get into Tate and I could sneak around past both of them, but didn't work out for us. Last year we had a fast car. This year we had a fast car, and already looking forward to next year's race.
A great result for you, but you mentioned the high side not being there. There was a lot of marbles visible tonight. Did you feel like they were kind of impeding any progress on the outside lane? Because I don't think we saw very many people successfully use that, at least at the front of the field.
I don't know. I think it was better than last night, because last night if you were stuck on the top, you were losing spots till you could get to the bottom. At least tonight, if you got to the outside, you at least had a little bit of hope and prayer that you could hang on for 2, 3, 4 laps. I think the track temp's a little bit cooler than it was last night, so maybe that's where it's coming in. But I don't think the marbles were hindering the cars that much.
All right, well, Paul Ross, 3rd place in the All-Star race in 2019. A good run for Paul, and we'll see you next week, Paul. Thanks for talking.
Right.
We'll see you later.
Thank you, and good job, Tate.
All right, we're going to talk now with 2nd place driver Levi Zielinski. Levi, just 0.3 of a second away from $100 tonight. I know you really, really wanted that, and you tried everything you could, but no dice on the outside lane. Just walk us through those last couple restarts and trying to get to that 56's rear bumper.
Yeah, last couple restarts, I think we had them timed pretty perfect for the most part. The problem is just it's so hard to tell when to go. So I was burping at almost every freaking restart, and the last one I just said, screw it, I'm not going to burp it this time. I'm just going to go for it because I've timed them perfect every time. I just decided that I was going to burp it because I didn't want to get that jump. But the last one we got a perfect restart. It's just we drove it in too deep into 1 and cost us too much time. And when we got back to them in 3, we just couldn't do nothing with the bump that we gave them. Unfortunate. It sucks. Finish 2nd. There's nothing for winning 2nd. So, oh well.
I was talking with Paul about the outside lane. He said that last night it didn't seem like there was much of an outside lane. Tonight you could probably use it a little bit, but I asked him about the marbles. Did you feel like you were concerned or there was less grip up there with the marbles up there, or did that not really seem to affect your car?
So on restarts you could use the outside for like a lap or 2, but the bottom's where you want to be, and almost you want to be hitting the apron essentially off corner. So like that's my main focus, was almost on the apron on exit every time. So I was flirting with that, and I mean, I even hit the apron so hard that I almost spun out in 2nd place, and Cam ran into me. So I mean, you're flirting on the edge of driving on the apron almost is actually where you want it to be.
All right, well, Levi Zielinski comes home 2nd place in his Dodge Challenger. A good-looking car, by the way. Congratulations. I know it's not what you wanted, but still a good run, and we'll see you at the next race.
Thank you, Kyle. You guys have a good night.
You too.
Thank you guys for broadcasting.
Absolutely. Now we'll talk finally with winner Tate Lytle. He's $100 richer tonight after the 2019 All-Star race. Tate, a drive well done. Talk to us about all those restarts you had to hold off. Levi Zielinski and Paul Ross.
Yeah, dude, it was a wild race to say the least. Somehow got 0 incidents, drove it from, I think I started 12th to the lead, lap 60, and then I was just waiting for Cam or Chuck or somebody to get behind me and go by, but they never quite got up there. And trying to hold off Levi and Paul at the end was no easy task. Thankfully, he didn't get into me any harder than he did into 3.
Talk to us about this racetrack, because it seems like at times it was difficult to pass on the top or on the bottom. Coming through the field, we saw you pass a couple cars. How much can you push and shove people before you kind of get knocked out of the groove yourself? I mean, just walk us through the passing process here, because we saw a lot of people trying dive bombs that really didn't work out.
Yeah, I got lucky a couple times, because I know when I passed the 14 and the 95 there toward the middle of the race to get up to 2nd and 1st, they kind of slid up the track, and I just kind of put my nose there and carried the momentum off the corner and took the spot. I didn't actually have to use the bumper tonight, which is good because, I mean, normally if you actually get the bumper underneath somebody, they're going around with these things. So, but somehow it worked out in my favor. And last night, first night.
What was the mindset of the restarts in terms of choosing top or bottom? Because we saw several of the leaders kind of changing from top or bottom in all the different heats, and tonight it seemed like you were pretty comfortable with your decisions. But what led to you choosing one lane over the other?
I was just gonna choose the bottom because if I had him on my outside on the backstretch, I felt like I could pull him on the bottom after a lap or two. But if I was on the outside, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to do that. The top did seem to work a little bit better tonight than last night, but it still wasn't preferred, at least in my opinion.
All right, well, Tate Lytle wins the 2019 All-Star Race. $100 in your name is going to come to you shortly. Tate, congratulations, and we'll see you at the next race.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks, Hanshaw, for the car, even though he used one of Johnny's old ones. Gee.
All right, we'll see you later, Tate. Have a great one.
Later, guys. Thanks.
All right, Finian, summarize that one for me.
A little bit messy at some points, but a lot of aggression going on. But, you know, all things considered, some fantastic racing, very aggressive racing from these guys, and they put on a hell of a show. And I'm honestly pleasantly surprised. I honestly thought Cameron Ridge was going to steal this one away and not look back, but had some trouble getting through the field, and Lytle was able to take advantage of that.
We saw at several points tonight. Dive bomb. Oops, I didn't mean for people to see that. I opened up the iRacing member site. Oops. I was going to ask you what your opinion was on this racetrack, because we've never actually. We might have done one stream here before in the trucks, but it seems like this is a pretty decent racetrack, and the outside lane can be used if the conditions are right.
Yeah, definitely. It kind of depends on the conditions. I do think that inside lane's a little bit too OP. It seems to be way more preferred than anything else, but I think what it does make it interesting is if people get forced to use that outside line, it could make for some good racing. All
right, so the next race you're going to see will be this weekend. We don't have any streams coming up on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, or Saturday this week. So enjoy the week off of SimTV action. It's been a long time since we've had a week that's been this empty, but we do have Charlotte for the 3-wide Yinzer Truck Series on Sunday night, and on Monday night it's going to be Charlotte as well for the 3-wide Cup Series League. So that's what's coming up, and then after that it's going to be a little bit of a. I think we have the Grid Life stuff coming up on the 9th as well next Tuesday. So it's going to be a pretty empty week this week, but next week the action restarts. Thanks for watching, and congratulations to Tate Lytle, and we'll see everybody on Sunday night at Charlotte for the 3-wide Yinzer Truck Series at 9:40 p.m. Have a good one.